Hey guys, happy Sunday. Again, amazing day. It's like 5 or 6 now and it's still sunny out because daylight savings time just makes life so much nicer. And again, for anybody who's in Ontario like me, it's not freezing outside, which is great, which is nice. It's not, Florida, which is, I was on the phone with my stepmom earlier and she's telling me, oh, I'm out in the garden, I'm just, living life down here. And I was thinking, man, why don't I live in Florida again? But whatever, here we are, London, Ontario, and it's not snowing, so that's awesome. Happy Sunday. Apologize if I'm a little bit sniffly. I'm suffering with an annoying head cold that doesn't seem to want to go away. So it's a good thing I take a lot of supplements. Otherwise, I'm sure I would be some version of crazy hella sick right now. And I'm not. I'm just sniffly and sound shitty and look kind of sick. And you know that thing when people say to you like, oh, like you look sick, which is just a really polite way of saying like, you probably need to take another nap. I've got a lot of that in the last couple of weeks. So I'm on the mend now, but I'm a little bit sniffly. So if you hear that, my apologies. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I think we all need more of in our life, and that kind of applies to everything, and that would be forgiveness. So that's a pretty daunting, huge word, and most people don't really like the sounds of it because it's really easy to say things like, I forgive you. And we can all attest to how many people you say that things to, but like how often you actually mean it. You know what I mean? Like how often are you like, yeah, I forgive you. So think about the people in your life, like your parents who do annoying, crazy things and drive you nuts, or your siblings, or your coworkers, or that douchebag who cut you off in traffic, or any number of things that happen in our lives that give us reason not to let it go. And that's something that we all struggle with. I obviously struggle with it quite a bit, is letting that little shit go in your life. And the reason it's so important is it's something that can actually manifest in a physical form. So for a lot of people, not letting things go, not having that forgiveness, manifests in ulcers, it manifests in stress, it can manifest in heart attacks, and any number of physical ailments is a lot of times from things that are completely unresolved in your life. Obviously, not being able to forgive people stems from that quite a bit. And the thing that you always have to remember, no matter who it is and no matter what the situation, is there's always 3 sides to every story. There's your side, there's that person's side, and then there's the truth that's somewhere in the middle. And the reason the truth is in the middle is what you have to remember is your perspective on a situation isn't somebody else's perspective. So the entire way that you can see an argument or you can see that disagreement is not going to be the other person's perspective. And I mean, we're all guilty of it. You can have these fights with people where they're completely unloading their shit onto you. It had nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with anything that you have done, but they're angry about something, and you're the person who, comes across and it's a bullshit argument. Like, think about any of you who are in relationships and how you have those dumb fights and you're like, that really had nothing to do with what we were fighting about, and yet it turned into this thing, this crazy event of a fight that really, if you had got to the root of the cause, it had absolutely nothing to do with why you're arguing to begin with. So a huge part of forgiveness, and I mean, again, you're all going to have those people in your life that don't deserve your forgiveness, that you have a hard time forgiving. A lot of people, it's their parents or siblings or friends at some point or another who've done things to wrong us. And you hear a lot of the times the saying like, oh, forgive but never forget. Well, think about how bullshit that statement is. If you forgive somebody, if you truly forgive somebody, but you never forget it, that means you're never going to let it go. And I'm not saying forget it in terms of, you shouldn't at least have that in the back of your mind. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Meaning you're not going to make the same silly mistakes again. But never saying forgive but don't forget means you're just manifesting and you're holding on to that nonsense in your life and you're never letting it go. And you're going to carry it around with you. And so even if you say you forgive somebody, there's going to come a time that person's going to have done something to you later on that you're going to then trigger that event to be like, oh yeah, that fucking person did that at some point or another. So you haven't really forgotten it. And then that means that you haven't necessarily really forgiven it either. And forgiveness is such a hard thing to do. It is really difficult to forgive people who do not deserve your forgiveness. And a lot of times, people who do shitty things don't deserve forgiveness. I had something happen recently with somebody who's been a friend of me for half my life, and we had this really ridiculous disagreement about something I didn't realize we were having a disagreement about, and it didn't get handled in the best possible way, and it sat with me now, and I've thought a lot about it, and basically, besides the fact that being angry gets you nowhere, it was kind of like, okay, it's letting this go, letting the feelings go, letting the anger about things go, and just being open to the fact that people don't intentionally do things to hurt you. People do things as a representation of their own reality, and people respond to you based on what's going on with them internally, is really kind of how I am able to take that feeling and wipe my hands and, have that loving kindness, detachment, and forgiveness. Which again, it's one of those things that you can hear me saying this right now, and it's way easier said than done to say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna just let this go and not worry about this. But if you can get to a point in your life where that's something that's a possibility for you, it's definitely beneficial. Because a lot of times, again, if you think about it, who benefits from you being pissed off? Does that person know you're angry? Is that person aware of how you're recreating that scene in your mind every single day? Is that person even aware that you're sitting at home stewing about it and you're pissed off and you're upset? Is that done any good for you or for them? No. I mean, they're probably off doing whatever it is they're doing, completely unaware of the fact that they've even upset you. So that being the case, the only person who suffers is you. And in any situation, your friends, your family, your coworkers, all the people in your life that could have done you wrong on some version or some level, you not being able to let that go affects you. It affects your health. It affects your well-being. It affects your ability to sleep and feel better and not be affected. You're the only person who suffers from it. So all of those people in your life that don't deserve your forgiveness aren't affected by how much it really upsets you. And we all have an issue when it comes to the way we communicate with people, because obviously if we feel hurt, we're likely to lash out, or we're likely to remove ourselves from the situation or not deal with it. And everybody deals with their pain in a different way, but it's not necessarily going to be the most constructive way to do it. And we're all guilty of that, but I think it's really important to kind of look at your life and self-reflect on it and think about who are the people in your life that need forgiveness. And usually the people who need it the most deserve it the least. And I'm not saying that means that, okay, you're forgiven, life goes on, and we'll act like whatever it is that you've done is no longer a big deal, because that's not the case either. Because some people do some pretty shitty things, and it is hard to come back from. But that also comes back to then being able to really, as somebody once put it to me, weed your flower garden. Meaning that you take a very constructive look at the people in your life, at your friends, at your family, and you lovingly disconnect from the people who don't serve you. And that could be because you guys don't think the same way about your politics, or about, your fundamental beliefs, or how you communicate, or the things that are important to you. Because you can have all of these people in your life, but you have to remember that you are a representation of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you're choosing to spend your time with people who you have dumb arguments with, and who make you feel kind of shitty or put you down, or you're constantly having to correct yourself or act a certain way, or they don't represent who you are and your beliefs and your values, those 5 people that take up the most of your time are the 5 people that you start to represent. And how you are going to represent yourself to the world is based on the company you keep. So it sometimes comes back to taking a very good look at the people in your life. And I mean, you can't cut your family out, not necessarily, but you can also lovingly detach from certain people. Maybe it is your family. Maybe there's people in your life who You just need to love more at a distance. And I mean, I've got crazy relatives in my life who I have to see on a very just really spread out, because having certain people in my life just wouldn't be good for me. And it's a hard thing to do, and sometimes people get offended by it. But again, it comes down to, would you rather have 3 amazing friends or 20 just okay acquaintances? And everybody is going to be different on how they view that, but also just remembering that, like, you want to bring the best out in yourself, and the people that you surround yourself with should bring that out in you. So the people that make you laugh the hardest, make you love the most, make you think about the world and challenge your thoughts, and want to encourage you to do great things and to seek, new opportunities in your life, those are the kinds of people that you need to surround yourself with the most. And it does take a little bit of perspective and looking at your life and kind of deciding what it is you want and maybe what it is you don't want, and removing yourself from that. So letting go of that old shit, letting go of that negative energy, letting go of the people who maybe don't have a place in your life anymore. And sometimes that's really hard too. I've had to let go of amazing people that just didn't fit in my life, and I still love and care for them, but I love them more from a distance. And it's better. It's better for me. It's better for this situation. So just having that awareness in yourself of what you need and what you need to be happy, and forgiving the people who don't deserve your forgiveness, but loving those people, loving the people who deserve love the least, letting them go when they no longer serve you, and then having that awareness to know what's good for you. And it's a really hard thing to do. It's not easy to forgive and forget, and legitimately forget and let shit go. But hanging on to it does nothing for you. Doesn't make you happier, doesn't make your life more fulfilled, doesn't make you a better person, and it doesn't make the things that you think about any more important. Because if you lose yourself in all of the shit that's gone on in the past, all you're doing is stressing, and you're getting upset, and you're worrying about that, and then you think about all the things in the future that then cause you anxiety, because it's all things you can't control. So it's trying to work more in what's going on right now, in the present, having that loving kindness, that detachment to things that no longer serve you, and then working from that place of love and good-hearted nature. So yeah, that was just something that's come into my life recently about having that loving kindness. And I hope that you at least give some thought to that forgiveness, and give some thought to giving more love to somebody than they actually deserve. And a lot of people in your life are going to be like that. A lot of people are going to take more from you than they give, which is okay. But it also just means that you do need to have that separation. But love them with kindness, and then let them go. Because everybody's got a place in your life, and sometimes that place isn't forever. Sometimes people are just meant to stay for a little bit. And let the people that need to go, go. And wish them well, love them, but kick their ass to the curb. So I hope that you can at least give that some thought today, and have an incredible weekend, and love more people, and forgive more people. And don't worry about all the bullshit that comes in between, because what other people think of you is none of your business. So that's my thought for your Sunday afternoon. I hope you're having an amazing weekend. Go enjoy what's left of the sunshine. And yeah, I'll talk to you later.